Director Bauman does not like my sandals. Sorry, it's California. It's LA. I don't get to be in warm weather like this in February up in Sacramento, or March, sorry. It's my pleasure to be here today to say good morning to all of my fellow Democrats. My 15th convention ever. When I started out, it was in Redding. I came down to Anaheim. I believe it was the 2000 convention, and I thought, oh my God, I've made it. I am surrounded by more Democrats than even live in Shasta County. And I was kind of getting that feeling last night because we had 560 young Democrats show up to this convention. Now, mind you, that's 560 young Democrats who actually paid and registered to show up to the convention. I'm sure a few of my Sac State kids probably thought I wouldn't notice that they didn't have their credential on, but you know what? I'm always willing to make an exception for my Hornets. We had 560 at this convention. We had 425 at our Lake Tahoe retreat that Chairman Bauman was talking about. Those were both records. Records that show that to anyone who doubts whether young voters are going to turn out in 2014, whether the people who were inspired by President Obama in 2008 and 2012 were just going to sit on the sidelines and sit this one out and maybe let the Democrats take their chances without him, ain't gonna happen. And you know why it's not going to happen? Because of the minimum wage increase that Speaker Perez and Pro Tem Steinberg got through the legislature. Because of the middle class scholarship that's putting my CSU and my UC students a 40% break on their tuition, 40% after a decade where we've doubled student fees. That's not right, and we are righting that wrong. Now, one of the things that we're focusing on within CYD, because we have this energy and we have this enthusiasm, but energy and enthusiasm without a structure, without trainings, without the ability to harness that energy and enthusiasm isn't very much use to anybody, right? It's not. So instead of just doing the rah-rah and getting everyone fired up, and I do apologize to the hospitality staff who had to clean up after the bars last night for my young Dems. We do get a little rowdy. We decided that this convention was going to be a convention where we take it to the next level, where Campaign 101, the how to do a fundraiser, how to do a precinct walk, that's not good enough for us anymore. That's not expecting of us what we're capable of. So instead, we took training programs, things like how to get appointed to a board and commission, so that we can create a bench for this party, so that the assembly races in 10 and 12 years that are going to come open have young progressive warriors ready to run for them. People like Erin Karlstrom, Young Democrats of America Executive Vice President. She's a young Democrat running for the assembly. Ben Allen in Senate District 26, another young Democrat running for assembly. Sandra Fluke, Los Angeles County Young Democrats, running for the Senate. We are engaging people because it's not just enough for us to be precinct walkers and phone bankers. We absolutely do that. There is no question we will ever not do that. But we also need to prepare for the campaigns down the road. And so we took trainings like that. We had our Women's Caucus sponsor an event that helps discuss how we can empower more women to get involved in the California Democratic Party and in California Young Democrats. We had trainings on things like green energy and green technology so that we can talk intelligently to voters who are concerned about where this economy is going and whether it's going to be sustainable, the economy that we are working in. And of course, we had our caucus meetings. Now, I know a lot of candidates came by to say hi. They saw packed rooms at the CYD Black Caucus, where we had a wonderful discussion about these very things, a great panel discussion about how to run for office, how to be engaged in your community. They came by the LGBT caucus, which was overflowing, standing room only. And as Eric said, I'm the first gay president of CYD. I am so proud to see that room full of that many people inspired by this party. But there's one caucus that I am incredibly proud of to be able to announce today. It's a caucus we created actually last night, less than 12 hours ago. And for those of you who were in our meeting, it felt like it lasted 12 hours. But it's time veterans have a voice in CYD. We have a generation returning from Iraq and Afghanistan a war that every single one of us in this room fought as hard against as possible. But even though Bush took us there and left those guys and those women on their own, essentially, Democrats are not going to do that. We're going to stand up for our veterans, and it starts by having a CYD Veterans Caucus to harness those veterans coming back from those two wars, and who can work with Lawson Stewart at the CDP Veterans Caucus so that every veteran in California knows that there is only one party not going to leave them behind, and that's the Democratic Party. Now, as we prepare for 2014, we're getting involved. We've made our endorsements. We're getting ready for the fall campaign. And we are not going to shrink from the responsibility on us. We know that this party's chances for victory depend on our ability to turn people out. So in the coming weeks and months, we're going to be organizing a leadership summit to bring together, for the first time, just to bring together all of the presidents of all 77 of CYD's chapters, all of our officers, all of our caucus chairs, and we have a lot of caucus chairs now because it's important that everybody has a voice in CYD's leadership and in the direction of this organization. We're bringing them together so that we can plan for the fall. And I'm a big believer that location matters. So we're coming to Monterey. Where's Sean Bagley? We're coming to Monterey. We're taking that seat from the Republicans. They've held it for 12 years, that they have no right to it. So that's the first step. Our leaders coming together, bringing as many volunteers as possible, and we're coming and knocking on doors for you, Sean. That's just the first step of 2014, and I cannot wait to take the rest of the steps together with all of you. Thank you.